one. Hey, everybody. It is another edition of Trash Talk with Brandon and Stuart. But it ain't just Brandon and Stuart. We got have we got a big surprise for this one.
We do? What?
Yeah, we do. We had a contest back way back then. And we had a contest. We told you all about it on one of our previous shows, and we picked a winner. And all of a sudden, 15 minutes before we were supposed to do the show with our winner, his daughter went into labor and went to the hospital. And he said, "Guys, sorry, I got to head to the hospital." And we applauded him because that was probably the only excuse that we would have accepted for him not being with us.
I would have brought my camera and just on the way there done the show, but I'm also divorced, so don't listen to me.
So we ain't going to keep you in suspense any longer because we got a new good friend, one of our new BFFs, Travis Patton Sr. is in the house, and he is with us today to share on Trash Talk. Yeah, there he is. Oh,
there
it's
he
a
is.
picture of him and his wife. Oh, and where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Hey, there's the man. Travis Patton Sr. Welcome.
What's up, everybody?
Welcome to Trash Talk. You can consider this another feather in your, well, not in your head, but in your cap. Now you can say you've been.
Stu. It won't fit.
Yeah, you've been on all these fantastic, famous platforms and everything, and now you can add to your resume, I was on Trash Talk.
Right, I made it. I finally made it.
Yeah,
Get into the big time finally.
Yeah.
And not only that, but you were the winner of our I Want to Be on Trash Talk contest. Yay!
I'm honored.
Look, there's a dozen people that are upset right now. Okay.
Yeah. Including Brandon's mother.
Yeah, she's never
Saw
getting
that.
on the show.
Brandon, did
I think because his mom was one of the people that put in about 4 entries. My wife did too. Wanted to be on the show. So what can I tell you?
Yeah, sorry, Mom. She didn't make it. Travis is here.
So Travis, even though he's frozen up on the screen right now, there he is. He came back. Travis is also one of us because he is also a blogger, podcaster, and everything. And he has, and I'm going to see if this is going to work because I did this in your honor.
Well, if Stuart's doing technology. There it is.
okay. All right, Stu.
Tell me something good.
Yeah, get it. Come on. We're going to jam out today.
Yeah.
I can't help it. Every time I hear that song now, I think of Travis.
I know that it's a great song by Rose Royce, and it's because you all see TMG over Travis's noggin there, and that's because the name of his podcast is what do you say? If you're going to tell me something, tell me something good.
Travis, tell us about your podcast for a minute before we get into this.
Man, before I get started, I am so honored to be here, guys. Last week I should have been here, guys, but my daughter decided to have the baby, and so I'm here. First time grandfather. So Amir is his name. So I'm pretty sure he's not watching, but that's okay. I'll record this and he'll watch it. But guys, man, just so honored to be here with Brandon and Stu. You guys are absolutely wonderful. I listen to what you guys do. You guys crack me up. Everybody that's watching, everybody that's listening, I know you know this by now, but these two are hilarious. Absolutely a comical pair. Brandon, wow. Stu, yeah, I've already planned on my show Monday. So I'm going to shout you out so you already know it's coming. It's coming. I'm going to warn you. I'm going to warn you.
Great.
But TMG actually came to fruition, man. I have a cousin, and each Tuesday she would post something on Facebook online, and it would say she was going to tell me something good Tuesday. So I have been in the works for trying to do a podcast for 3 years, and I just wanted to make sure I got everything down where I wanted to be, and still haven't gotten it down. Still learning.
Right.
And so every Tuesday, she would post something that's tell me something good Tuesday, and just say simple things that you're grateful for, happy for, some good news. And I was looking for a name for a podcast. I said, wait, there we go. TMG, tell me something good. And it's all about just sharing life's stories and finding inspiration out of those stories, out of those motivational stories.
Yeah.
Right. Mid sentence. Froze up again there.
Mid plug.
In my teenage years, as an adult, as a parent, and stories that I use to help inspire other people, motivate, and realize that, you know what, life, we all have different things that happen to us. And why waste that story?
Right. Yeah.
And it's interesting that you talk about where you got the name, the TMG, because that kind of is how Brandon and I got together. I had known Brandon because he had been a guest on another show that I have done. We've talked a little bit about the things that he does, his writing and his podcasts, his book that he eventually is going to complete and release.
It's complete.
It's going to be a blockbuster if it ever makes it to the bookshelves.
It will.
But we got together and I said, hey, Brandon, listen, I really enjoyed having you as a guest on my show, and I'm thinking about starting another show, and I'd love maybe for you to consider co-hosting it with me. And I have no idea what to do, what to call the show and everything, but we could just get together once a week maybe and just talk some trash. Oh,
there you go.
Talk. So that's somehow that's the way things are born.
Yep, it is. And it just happened and it stuck. And honestly, we were talking about the tagline. My wife said, you need a tagline. You need a good one that sticks. And I said, well, what? And and this happened. Listen to your wives, man. Still listen
yes,
to your
dear.
wife. Listen to her.
I can't say anything.
She said, I said something. I said, if you're going to tell me something, and she said, no. She said, if you're going to tell me something, then tell me something good. I said, well, boom, my whole mind was blown. It's stuck. And now everywhere I go, people say that. People are like, hey, you're TMG. If you're going to tell me something, then tell me something good. And it sticks. And so I appreciate, she's a huge supporter of the show. I'm trying to get her to come on, but she won't.
Yeah, well, maybe jewelry. Offer her some jewelry.
Exactly.
Yeah. Just spend some money. Just go ahead.
Yeah. You want to go out for a nice dinner? Got to be on the show first.
I love the show, and not just, I'm not just saying that. Obviously, I love it. I remember listening to it. I remember seeing the logo pop up through the National Podcast Association.
Mm-hmm. That's
really how I found it. And I said, I'm going to check this out. So I started listening, and then we did that podcast-a-thon, and I was like, I'm in. I like it. I'm in. And so it's been really cool, and I thank them for introducing me to this. But it's a good show. It's different than other podcasts. It's different than other shows. It's not just like it's not like a self-help podcast. It's real, and that's what I like about it. It's real. You can hear the realism, the passion, and the stories behind it. And that's huge for me. So I love it. It's a good show. And I'm glad you're here, man. It's great. It's great.
Yeah. I think all of us, a podcast, if it's just about, all about me, forget about it. It doesn't make any sense. But if I want to give you a viewpoint that you can relate to, that makes sense into your life, and everything, then it's going to be successful. And that's what I enjoy about listening to Travis, is because he's got things that are on his mind, and he wants to share it with you. And when he shares it with you, all of a sudden you realize, hey, I can really relate to that. I recognize what he's saying, and I've lived what he's saying.
Absolutely.
And that's why people follow podcasts on a regular basis. If it's just all in the first person, you catch one and you can, if you want to tune into one 6 months from now, it's probably the same jabber. But
that's why I listen to you guys. And Brandon was talking about National Podcast Association, man. I'm grateful for being part of that. That's how Brandon and I and Stu, we met. And you guys, your stuff, I hear your content and I listen to it. And I know it's, you're supposed to be polite and you be nice to the people that have you on your show, but I'm really genuine. So I'm not going to lie to you. I really enjoy what you guys put out because I hear experience. And on my show, I like to say I like a good story, and I do love a good story. And when I hear is experience, and when I hear that, it enriches me. They're back to the old saying, iron sharpening iron. You can't sharpen it if you aren't iron itself. So you have to be iron to sharpen me. So I hear experience. And when I hear those experiences, what they do, they trigger the other stories that's inside me, and I go, oh, I got a story for that.
Yeah.
It's like a bounce back. Yeah,
yes,
I've done that. I've done that. I've listened to one of your podcasts recently, and I was like, wait a minute. And then I took that idea and I kind of, recorded one for down the road, and it's great. It's just, it's really cool. It's a good time to be a podcaster. It's a lot of work, but it's a good time.
And Brandon's got such a variety of experiences and all over, over
everywhere,
his lifetime. And of course, me, I go back to a time when what we're doing right now never existed, because I'm from the prehistoric era where before computers. I remember when Panasonic came out, or Motorola came out with that first brick phone.
Oh man, not the brick.
Yeah, it was about the size of a bread box, and you were poking people in the eye with the antennas. Now we talk to people on our watches.
Yeah,
it's a crap, but it's just fun throwing personal aspects into the stuff. And Brandon and I mean, I got the record button and all, and we say, what are we going to talk about? I don't know. What do you want to talk about? We throw something out there. Okay, fine. 3, 2, 1, go. And that's the fun of it. Because I do watch some podcasts where people have got it's scripted. Nothing worse than watching a scripted podcast. Because you might as well just send me the script and I'll read it at my leisure. But
I get it though. Like there's some podcasts out there that are more like business oriented, where they've got facts and things like that. And I understand that, you've got to, when I do some of my podcasts, even when I'm telling like a story from my personal life, I still have notes and dates written down.
Right.
Because look, I can barely remember yesterday. So I got to look at it, but when I have seen some, and I'm not bashing anybody, where it is literally like they're reading cue cards back and forth. And I'm like, I just can't get into that. I want to hear somebody make a mistake. I want to hear somebody cough. I don't even edit out my coughs. And like when I'm drinking water or something, I'm like, hold on, guys, I got to drink water. I want to feel that realism, so it's a lot of work, but it's also really fun too. So
I think with podcasts, I watched and listened to a lot of podcasts before I even decided to have a podcast.
Sure.
And what came to my mind was, and kind of thought about with business, people meet the person before they listen to the podcast, and you have to let them see you. Even in business, if you want to be successful in business, you can have a fantastic product, but people will always buy into who you are before they buy your product.
Absolutely.
People bought into Ray Kroc before they bought a Big Mac, So
sure.
You have to, people will always buy you. You are constantly selling you. If I don't feel you, if I can't get behind you, I'm not going to get behind what you're doing. I'm not going to get behind what you're saying. It's not that what you're saying is incorrect or not good information. I just, even my mailman, my mailman can bring me a bill, but I like my mailman.
I don't like my mailman
bill.
that much. If he wants to give me extra bills, forget about it.
No, that's true though. And I tell that to my staff too. I've done it for years. It's not about, like, when I was in the bar industry, it's not about selling a beer. It's not about the bar. Anybody can get a beer. Anybody, it doesn't matter if you have the best beers ever. It's about people. And you're creating an experience, and you have to find a way to connect to people. And if you do that, you're good.
You're good. You're good. You're good for life.
That's it.
You look at the longevity of companies, they exist because they.
Because of people.
Yeah, what you're saying, Brandon, is absolutely true in so many different ways. For instance, you walk in, and if the bartender is just so-so, okay, you order a beer, you have your beer, and you leave. But if it's a great bartender, you're probably there for a second and third beer.
Yep, you're gonna stay. You're gonna just remain right there, and you have to just be talking, just talking.
That's it.
The shift will change.
Right. I mean, it's an old thing, it's an old philosophy of make it about people. Go back to the door-to-door salesman days, or back when car salesmen used to be worth something, and it's about people. And I've said this the other day, I'll go to a place that's a little more expensive, whatever that may be, grocery store. This particular place it does work on my car. I'll give them a little more money because they take care of me.
Exactly.
I know I can find it cheaper, but are they going to drive me home, me and my son home while my car sits there for 4 hours? No. This place has taken the car seat out, put it in the car, and driven us home while my car is getting worked on.
Yeah. It's the stuff like that if it phases out, in society, and we get so distant because everything's so digital, and we lose that hands-on aspect of everything. And I understand, I get it. We're so conscious about not offending others and offending people. Right. When I was born in 1969, so when I was coming up, a lot of things were hand-on. I remember lunches being prepared in school by actual cooks. Yeah. And I get it. We don't want to offend people. We don't want to get on their nerves or bother them. And we lose that human aspect. We lose that human side of us. And what we try to do on TMG, and I think what you guys do in every podcast, we start with those intentions of, I just want to reach a person. Mm-hmm. And it took me 3 years to come up with the idea of TMG because I wanted to reach someone. I didn't want to ever lose that fire. I didn't ever want to lose my reason why. And I've always learned, if I lose my why, I've lost everything. Yeah. If our podcasts become hugely popular and they get great monetized, all these sponsors, if I lose my why, I've lost all my success. It's the reason we get up out the bed. It's the reason we put our pants on. It's the reason we go to Brandon, you have a son. It's the reason you don't feel well, but you go to work. It's Stu, you don't feel like you have a grandson. You don't feel like it, but it's the reason you love that grandson and you hug him, even though you're tired, your body aches. It's our reason why behind those things. If we ever lose that fire, I was telling somebody this, I said,
technology just froze us up.
Yeah. right when he gets to the point. Make that
our way. That's the reason why we are here, because we found our way to fertilization. If we ever lose that initial fire that got us here, man, we've lost so much. You were born a fighter, Stu.
Hey, listen. I'll tell you what, man. You say you were born in 1969.
Yeah.
Yep. And I happen to see that your birthday is December 5th.
That's correct.
That's my birthday.
See? Oh, not a coincidence.
We share a birthday, except the day that he was born. I mean, we already had a man on the moon, and Woodstock was already history. And I was a part of both of those events.
Oh, wow. See, I read about it.
And Travis was just popping out into the world.
Just popping out. Here I am.
Well, if it makes you guys feel better, I wasn't even around. So there you go.
You know what? See, there you go. See, I read about those things. And the things like that fascinate me because it's not just the event that fascinates me, it's the story behind those. Where were we as a country, as a people thinking when things like this happen? Like, I like to think, Stu, what were you thinking about when you first saw the man landing on the moon? Like, what went through your mind?
Well, interesting enough, I was in the Army and I was serving in Vietnam when that happened. I was with my battle buddies. We were outside our hooches looking up into the sky when Neil Armstrong said those words on the moon. So I was half a continent, half a world away.
Wow.
When that happened, and when Woodstock happened, I was still over across the pond. So there were lots of things that happened in 1969 and all that I kind of missed because I wasn't here. I got back to the States in 1970. Okay. But you remember stuff like that, and everybody else. What can I say? It's my background, my history, and I draw upon that because it's something that I can add to whatever show I'm on or podcast that we're doing. Is I always like to tell everybody I'm a Rhodes Scholar. That everything I learned on the road. So it's from the School of Hard Knocks. That's an old line too.
Ain't that the truth?
Right? See, those are the stories that I love to hear. Like I listen to Brandon, and I like listening to Brandon talk about he and his interaction with his son. I like watching their posts on Facebook.
Yeah, they have some fun
things. It's those kind of stories that stand out. It's those kind of stories that go like, wow. And sometimes you just have to dig a little deeper or look a little deeper to see the story behind things. And it's usually
sure. Everybody
is living a story. I don't care who you are, what position you hold, whether you be any kind of governmental official, you're living a story. And it's those stories. This world is an example. This world right now, the way it is, the condition is in this way because everybody is living out a story. And anytime the story changes, that's when we hear what's called breaking news. Well, it's breaking news because the story is changing.
Right.
So we all are living a story. This whole earth is based on whatever story is going on at that time. And if we are able to ever change the narrative, if we can change the narrative, we can change the story, we can change the outcome. And that's what TMG is about. It's about saying, hey, look, stuff happens. Listen, stuff just happens. Doesn't mean you're bad, doesn't mean you're terrible. Stuff just happens. But if you can change the narrative first in your mind, what you're telling yourself, you can change your whole outlook of it. Yeah, it may not change. It may not look any different to anybody else, but you have to change the outlook, how you see it in yourself. And that's what TMG is about, man. It's just about, look, stuff's just going to happen. Sometimes you wake up and the weatherman does not say rain, and there you go. It's raining outside. You're soaking wet.
That's it. That's it. One thing too, when we talk about this, we all as people, we're all connected a lot more than we realize, but especially if you just look at the last 2 years, we all had something that happened to each and every single person on the planet. In my lifetime, that's one of the first times I've ever experienced where me here in Texas was also experiencing the same thing that over in England and Italy and Australia.
Exactly.
So right now we have this common thread. even though, without going too far down the rabbit hole, even though right now the world is going through a lot, we still have an opportunity because we're all experiencing the same thing. We're all connected. We have a great opportunity to pull it back together.
Absolutely.
We really do.
And also it's because of everything that's going on all around us and all around the world that I have my other key show, which is someone you should know. And I always like to feature somebody because of either their career, their hobby, or something. But I like to delve into that backstory, like you were talking about, Travis. Everybody's got the front story, and it's easy to talk about that. But it's the backstory that got them to the front story. But then there's Brandon and I. And what we do is we look at each other and we say, yeah, we could talk about COVID every week if we wanted, or we could talk about politics. Why?
Right.
What we want to do is let people know, there is a lighter side to almost every conversation. Exactly. And if we don't experiencing that, then we're lost if we don't bring the funny out in us.
Exactly.
And it's important to do that.
Yeah.
That's what, my cousin was in the Navy, and he was in naval intelligence. So to this day, he will never tell me what he did. Never tell me. So and I asked myself, what kept you going? When you were doing what you were doing, since you could never tell us where you were located. You could never say that. He said what kept me going was, and we were watching Saturday Night Live when I asked him this question. He said what kept me going was this right here: being able to laugh. Being able to joke, being able to sit here, have this beer, and talk to my little cousin, and have a joking time watching Eddie Murphy on Saturday Night. He said, "It's these things right here. This was keeps us going. This is why we fight. We fight so we could have these moments to just lighten up for a minute." Yeah, he said there are serious things in this world. He said there are things that you wouldn't imagine. He said, but you cannot underappreciate a good time to just sit and relax. And still, you being in Vietnam, you got to know that.
You got it. Yeah. You got to find it. You got to find that moment, however long that moment is, a night, a day, an hour, you got to do it. And that's why when we talked about trash talk, I was like, okay, we can be funny. We can drop a little serious at times, but there's so much other serious stuff out there. And even on my other podcast, I might talk about some serious things that happen in my life because, life isn't fun all the time.
Exactly.
But at least we can do it in a different way, and that's what it's about, because there's a couple of good podcasts that I listen to that are, they're straight, very serious, and they're good, but sometimes I got to take a break. I'm like, all right, I got to take a time out on this. I need to just watch something, or, they're good and I like them and I support the guys that do them. But sometimes I'm like, man, I can't do this,
Well, Brandon, you've got several different shows, Life of an Average Joe, and you've got the, that has a certain flavor, the man cave, discussion.
Toy cars.
Yeah,
toy cars on the nightstand. They are all different. It's not like, oh, that's Brandon again. It's Brandon in different costumes, basically.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out. I've been, I don't want to say struggling lately. I have this, Stuart, better than anybody. My brain doesn't stop ever. So I'm like, oh, I got an idea and I think it's a good one. So let's do this. Let's put this here. Let's put this here. Then I've create these, this plate that's too big and I can't. So now I think it's finally time, life and, everything else is finally telling me, harness it all in, clean some of it off your plate, Brandon, and focus on the stuff. So right now I'm whittling out some of these projects and just combining them to do the right thing, because it's exhausting.
That's what I tell them. You know what? You got to start just going back to restaurants instead of hanging out at buffets.
So I'm good though. When and the signs are in front of you, and I'm sure you guys know this too. When you got something, and again, for me, it's not about becoming big or money. Look, if that ever happens, I'm not going to say no, but it's just about getting the message out. I think the story out and all that. So when I've done the Life of an Average Joe, I'm seeing where that's been going. I'm seeing the listeners go up. I'm seeing somebody who randomly wants to sponsor me for God knows why. You know, I'm going to take it. You know, that's great. So I'm like, okay, this is a sign. This is the one that you focus on. Maybe you incorporate some of the others into that.
Exactly.
Just give it, you know. So that's finally, you know, I'm so stubborn. It only took me 3 years to figure that out, but that's where I'm at, you know.
But I'm going to say this. I listened to last week's show. I wasn't here, but I listened to last week's show.
Oh.
And you guys did a phenomenal job. Yeah. I felt like it was back in the day when I watched Dean Martin's Celebrity Roast. And I used to love those shows. I got roasted, but that's cool. But I heard something last week that I ended up messaging Brandon about. And Brandon on purpose, Stu, did something. So we see this background of this pizza slice, right? And I've been holding this back the whole time, right? So last week you guys mentioned, oh yeah, I got a good slice of Chicago style pizza. Blah 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 blah.
Here we go.
I'm from New York, okay?
Oh man,
I'm from New York. Hey, there's nothing like a good slice of New York pie. Chicago, love you, but the pizza is better in New York. What is the Chicago style pizza? No. Is that even a thing? Did someone just make that up?
No, Brandon and I were raised on eating pizza with a fork and a knife. You know, in New York, you guys pick up a piece of pizza, and what's the first thing you do? You fold it in half. Yeah. I mean, you know, are you kidding me? To take all that great cheese and sauce and then put it together.
Well, wait a minute, Stuart, you're forgetting. So I'll say this, you know, the Brooklyn style, big slice, you know, hanging. You said all the cheese. There ain't that much cheese on there to begin with. So
that's why they fold it in half, to make it seem like double cheese.
And I gotta say,
pizza, I have to fold it. When I even hear, I live in Birmingham, Alabama. Okay. And there's a lot of great pizza places here that actually do they cook their pizza in a stone oven. The best way to cook a pizza, stone oven, hand down.
Fast, very fast, yeah.
And when I get my pizza now, I get it and I have to fold it. That's how you eat a New York pizza. You gotta fold it.
Well, I'm not disagreeing with you because it's so big anyway. It's gonna, you know, so
you gotta do it like this and just kind of hold your head to the side and just bite.
There's nothing wrong with a New York slice. However, to put it in the same category as Chicago or buddies from Detroit behind me here ain't in the same category.
You're right, because it's in a category by itself.
Because it's just, but again, it's just a thin slice. I need more ingredients, you know.
The only thing I'll give the New York pizza one kudo.
It is good,
and just one. That is when you go and get a slice of New York style pizza, it is a huge slice. So huge, at least if you eat it, you can walk away saying, I only had one slice.
That's right.
You know, but it's like half of anybody else's pie.
Yeah, but you know what? Look, I'll be fair. When I go to Chicago and I get some pizza there, I'm not having much more than one or two slices either, because it's like a plate of lasagna.
It's like eating a hero sandwich on a crust.
The other day, I might have been, I don't know what day it was, but Luke wasn't here. He was with his mom. I was starving. I was going grocery shopping first thing in the morning. I had a lot of stuff to do. I could tell I was getting better from the sickness, even though I sound like crap right now, because I was hungry. I was very hungry. So I didn't want to go grocery shopping. It was late at night, getting late. I needed to edit something. I was like, I'm going to get a pizza. Okay, I'm going to get pizza. So I started looking. Now, unfortunately, we all got the generic pizzas around us. I didn't want that, but I didn't want to drive anywhere to get a real good one because I'm lazy. So I look, and the first thing that pops up reminded me of Brian when he did this review. Detroit style pizza from Pizza Hut. I said, all right. And it was cheap. It was like $10. And
Oh, wow.
Like, yeah, I'm like, okay, you sold me because I'm a sucker because you said Detroit, and I'm going to buy it. I'm going to do it. So I got, and it was just me, and it wasn't a big one. So they brought it in. I got it. Now, I'll be honest with you. The packaging was phenomenal. I opened it up, smelled it. The sauce smelled good, but it was not thick enough on the corner crust. They did a drip of sauce across, which is Detroit, but Detroit has sauce all over. It was just okay. It was just okay. But the sauce, I give Pizza Hut credit. I'm going to give them a little credit. Had way more flavor than I ever thought they could get. But man, I was bummed out, and it made me think of how bad I wanted Detroit style pizza. And I'm in Texas. Well, there is a place here in Texas. I think it's in Lake Highlands, and it's called Metro Pizza or something like that. And they're from Detroit. They serve burners. They serve Fago. They got better made chips.
Wow.
Everything Detroit style. And I looked them up online, and I'm going to try them out this week. So I'm going to let you guys know how that is. But
all right, good. You do that.
Yeah,
And I know everybody that's watching, let us know what you think. New York versus Chicago versus Detroit.
Yeah.
I say New York.
Okay, so you're from New York.
Wait a minute. There's more people in New York than there are in Chicago and Detroit combined. So, you're trying to stack the deck.
Yeah, but you know what? They're going to fight over which place has the best anyway, like we do. Like, okay, yeah. Travis, what is your favorite New York pizza place? Pizza slice, pizza place, whatever.
It's definitely it's an authentic Italian pizza place in New York. And it is by him. It's called Sal's. Every pizza place in New York is called Sal's.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's called Sal's. And I remember as a kid, it is still there. My mom would take us every weekend, every Friday, like, ritualistically, we would be in Sal's, or she would bring home a huge pizza from Sal's. And what I fell in love with it was the crust.
Yeah.
Was the crust on it. And when I came to Alabama and they gave me some pizza here, I was like, whoa, what is this? This is not pizza.
Yeah, it's a little bit of sauce and cheese on bread.
Yeah, my mind, my body was in shock, Stu. I was like, what? This is not pizza. But Sal's had the best pizza because the crust, you start at one end and literally you go to the other end, and you get the pizza, you fold it, or you get two slices and you stack them on top of each other.
Yeah.
And just go for it.
There's a place here not too far from me called Joey's, and he's from New York. I mean, his whole family's from New York, and they do pizza by the slice. And I got to tell you, it is really good. He used to take care of us because when we worked the bars, we get out at 4 a.m. He'd still be open. So we roll in at 4 a.m. the place would be packed. We'd have a slice. And it was cheap. So I'm gonna give you that, because sometimes I do like to just get a slice, and you're not gonna find a lot of that around here, with just one slice of pizza.
Exactly.
All right, Stuart, Chicago. What's your favorite Chicago place? What's your favorite Chicago pizza?
Lou Malnati's.
Yes, thank you. Yes.
And not only that, but even though I live here in Texas, I import my pizza from Lou Malnati's.
Yeah.
Are you kidding
order
me?
it online.
Twice a year they have a deal. You buy 6, you get 1 free.
Wow.
They pack it in dry ice. I get it shipped overnight.
Love it.
I'm all set. But Lou Malnati's is the best. And
3 years ago,
as I say, that's pizza that you eat with a fork and a knife.
Well, okay. So, and they got good food. They got good calamari too, by the way. But
so I'm gonna have to try it out. I'm gonna have to try that.
It's amazing.
To try it. In fact, there's a place in Addison. I understand. I think it's called the Taste of Chicago, and it's a Chicago style pizza place. But it ain't the same as Giordano's or Gino's or Lou Malnati's.
Lou
or those
Malnati's is the best.
from, you know, you got to go back home to get the pizza.
Well, wait a minute though. So we went to 3 years ago, almost 4, when I was, you know, still married or whatever. We went to
Chicago. Wherever.
Yeah, well, at that point in the game, who knows? But anyway, that's a whole different story. So 4 years ago, we went to Chicago, and it was great. And we went there, and they weren't busy. It was just one of those odd nights where they weren't busy. So we really got to sit and enjoy, had a good table. And I just said, you know what, let's just experience. I want to experience the whole thing. I don't know when I'm going to get back to Chicago. And we had some calamari, and it was phenomenal. Good wine. And then I switched to Chicago beer because I'm in Chicago. And we had the pizza. And I that's when I made the final decision, because I was always going back and forth. That's my favorite. I mean, they've been around since 1970.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. My favorite.
But, you know, well, hey, you know, I'll tell you what, this has been a good show, and I'm getting pretty damn hungry right now. I'm thinking I may have to go
I'm with you.
May have to go out and do some pizza for lunch today, but
I absolutely doing some pizza too.
You know, I think we're just going to have to get together and do this again.
We are.
Yeah.
You know, and we'll pick a time, we'll pick a date, we'll pick a topic and everything. We'll get together and we'll share our viewpoints. In the meantime, folks, you know, go online to all the various platforms and all, and type in Stuart Sachs, type in Brandon Navarro, type in Travis Patton Sr., find our broadcasts and follow us. Tell us you like us, share it and everything. You know, we want to be really famous someday so we can retire and we won't have to do this stuff. and sooner or later, Brandon's book is going to be on the shelf. And,
you know what's sad? You know what's sad right now is that I'm almost done with the second one.
You're almost done with the second one. You haven't edited the first one to get it to the publisher.
I know. And hey, he just messaged me last night. So.
Right. Yeah. So, you know, get off the buffet line and get back into the restaurant where you can sit down and just order a good meal.
I need a manager to control myself. I do, you know?
Well, and Travis, congratulations on being a grandpa, and keep up the great work with TMG, because if you're going to tell me something, tell me something good. So that will do it for another edition of Trash Talk with our very, very special guest and good friend, Travis Patton Sr. You all go out and make it a great day, and make sure you come back again next Tuesday at 8 a.m. for some more Trash Talk.
Yeah.
Take care, guys.
See you guys.